Hello, everyone. I'm Olivia, and welcome to Mr. English Podcast for Level 3 learners. Today's story is full of emotion and life lessons. It's called My Son Left Me Alone. It's about love, distance, and learning how to let go. So take a deep breath, relax, and listen closely. The old clock on the wall was ticking. Tick, tock, tick, tock. That was the only sound in the house. Mr. Harris sat by the window, holding a cup of tea. The tea was cold. He didn't even notice. He was lost in his thoughts, thinking about his son, Daniel. Daniel had left home 3 years ago. He said he wanted to see the world, to explore, to learn. At first, Mr. Harris was proud. Every father dreams of seeing his child chase big dreams. But as the days turned into months and the months into years, the silence in the house grew heavier. He missed the sound of Daniel's laughter. He missed cooking together on Sundays. He even missed the little arguments about football, about music, about nothing. Now the rooms were quiet, and the walls seemed to whisper old memories. Mr. Harris stood up and walked to the shelf. He pulled down an old photo album. Inside were pictures of Daniel growing up, his first school uniform, his first bicycle, the day he caught a big fish at the lake. Mr. Harris smiled softly. He remembered that day clearly. Daniel had fallen into the water, and they both laughed until their stomachs hurt. Then the smile faded. Tears filled his eyes. He closed the album slowly and whispered, "Where are you now, my boy?" Every evening, Mr. Harris sat by the same window, watching the road that led to the city, hoping one day Daniel would walk through the gate again. But days passed, and no one came. One cold morning, the postman knocked on the door. "Good morning, Mr. Harris. You've got a letter?" A letter? He hadn't received one in months. His hands trembled as he saw the familiar handwriting. It was Daniel's. He quickly opened it and began to read. "Dear Dad, I'm sorry I haven't written much. Life has been busy and confusing. I got a new job in another city. I'm learning, growing, but sometimes I feel lost. I hope you're doing okay. I miss you. Love, Daniel." Mr. Harris smiled through tears. He held the letter close to his chest, as if he was holding his son again. Finally, a message, a connection, a sign that Daniel still remembered him. That night, he placed the letter beside his bed. Before sleeping, he whispered, "You'll always be my boy." Days went by, and every morning he reread that letter. It gave him strength. It made the empty house feel a little warmer. Then, one Sunday afternoon, as he was watering the garden, he heard a knock at the door. He walked slowly to open it and froze. There stood Daniel, a little taller, a little older, but with the same gentle smile. "Hey, Dad," Daniel said softly. "Daniel?" was all Mr. Harris could say before hugging him tightly. It was a long, silent hug, one that said everything words couldn't. Tears rolled down Mr. Harris's face. His heart was full again. Inside, they sat together, drinking tea just like old times. For the first time in years, the house felt alive. They talked about small things, the weather, food, memories. Mr. Harris didn't want the moment to end. But later that evening, Daniel looked serious. "Dad, I came to tell you something," he said. Mr. Harris felt a chill in his heart. "I got a job offer. Abroad," Daniel continued. "I'll be moving next month." Mr. Harris froze. "Abroad? That's far." "Yes, Dad. It's a big opportunity. I'll learn a lot there." He smiled nervously, waiting for his father's reaction. Mr. Harris looked down, quiet for a long time. Then he nodded slowly. "I understand, son. You must live your life. Just promise me one thing. Don't forget where you came from." Daniel reached across the table and took his father's hand. "I'll never forget, Dad. I promise. I'll call. I'll write. You'll hear from me often." That night, they watched the sunset together. The sky turned orange and gold, just like the evenings they used to spend years ago. But this time, both of them knew this goodbye would be harder. A few weeks later, Mr. Harris stood at the airport. He watched his son checking in, holding his passport, ready to fly away into a new life. Daniel turned around one last time, waved and smiled. Mr. Harris waved back. When Daniel disappeared into the crowd, he whispered to himself, "Go live your life, my son. That's what I raised you for." The days after that were quiet again. The same clock ticked on the wall. The same cup of tea sat on the table. But something inside Mr. Harris had changed. The loneliness was still there, but it didn't hurt as much. It was filled with love, pride, and peace. Months passed, and one evening the phone rang. "Dad, it's me, Daniel." Mr. Harris's heart jumped. "Daniel, how are you, son?" "I'm good, Dad. Guess what? I got promoted." "That's wonderful, son. I'm so proud of you." They laughed, talked about food, work, and old memories. For a moment, distance didn't exist. It felt like Daniel was right there in the room. After the call ended, Mr. Harris looked out the window. The night sky was full of stars. He smiled and whispered, "He's not gone. He's just flying higher." Years passed. Mr. Harris grew older, slower, but he found peace in his quiet days. He learned something powerful, that love doesn't need to be close to be real. True love never ends. It doesn't disappear with distance. It just changes shape. Sometimes it becomes a letter, sometimes a phone call, sometimes just a memory that warms the heart. One morning, he sat by the window again, watching the sun rise. The light touched his face softly, and he smiled. He felt proud. He had raised a good man. He wasn't really alone, because love, real love, stays forever. And that's today's story. My son left me alone. It's not about being alone. It's about understanding that love can travel any distance. Even when someone leaves, the connection stays. I'm Sophia, and this is Mr. English Podcast. Thank you for listening. And remember, every story teaches you English, but also a little bit about life. See you next time with another emotional story.